and they're better.
And they're better.
Yeah. I don't like giving money to Amazon, but like...
No. Ooh. Meeting's now streaming live on Facebook. Oh my goodness.
Okay. Hello.
Hi. Sorry, we were just talking about power cables.
Yeah.
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 We can give you that bit of advice in a bit.
Yeah. Hello, I am Harry.
Hello, I'm Alice.
And we are House of Blakewell. We are a company that started making work in kind of comedy and cabaret, and now make theatre, I guess theatre with a comedy cabaret musical element.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey, I think, from, it was quite pure cabaret at the beginning, I guess, wasn't it? We did a collection of songs.
Our first show at the King's Head Theatre.
At the King's Head Theatre, so this is so lovely. Thank you to the King's Head for inviting us. And thank you for joining if you're here already. I don't know how many people are joining, but so our very, very first show at the King's Head, which was, pure cabaret songs. Well, was it cabaret songs? Yeah, I guess so. Songs. Satire.
And then we sort of moved on, started working with our director, Valentina Chesky, who works with a company called Dancing Brick, and made a couple of shows called We Can Make You Happy and House Party, which we did at Vault and Edinburgh and Latitude and things. And then we sort of moved on into full small musicals with Thor and Loki, which we did here at the North Wall a couple of years ago. And now everything is absolutely fine.
Everything is absolutely fine. Yeah, so we're at the North Wall. We should explain just in case. I don't know if everyone knows.
This is the dressing room.
This is our dressing room.
Alice's costumes. And pyjamas.
And we are, streaming our latest show, Everything is Absolutely Fine, live at 7:30 on Saturday, the 15th of May, which is very exciting. And it's our latest show. This one is, I guess, Thor and Loki was written in terms of book and lyrics by Harry. And then this one is written by me, and it's kind of partly autobiographical as well, which I think we've done in quite a few of our shows, haven't we? We've used bits of autobiographical content, I guess.
Yeah, we've definitely kind of used bits of experiences that we've had to inform what we do.
Yeah.
I guess this is the most kind of fully kind of it's based on a period in your life.
Yes.
Really, the whole show, would you say?
Yeah, definitely. And definitely. And then there's bits that are purely about kind of generally how I felt. So I should explain. The show is about my experiences of anxiety, and set in a period which was quite difficult for me because of my anxiety. But then obviously there's lots of elements from experiences I've had in my life over the years with that. And it's been a real journey for me to make something that is so kind of personal and true, and also as a writer, because I think when we first started working together, we did a lot of collaboration and creating things in the room. We didn't necessarily go away and write scripts. I guess Harry's obviously always written the music and lyrics. It's been really kind of brilliant journey for me, and I'm feel very lucky to have had Harry's support and Valentina, our director. We're also really proud to have the Cranmer and Grant Memorial Trust as supporters as well. They're a charity that encourage people to talk about mental health issues.
Just to go back to what was it that made you want to write this show, Alice?
Yes, that is a very good question, Harry. So I think, just going back to what we were saying, that we have used some of our own experiences in previous shows, and I think we've always thought about, in terms of the subject for the shows, it's always been what in life for us at the moment. Tell me if you disagree.
No.
Are we interested in and we want to explore, and So for example, with We Can Make You Happy, it was at that time where there was a lot of kind of hashtag 10 ways to make you happy and just exploring that kind of world. And there was a particular, and we did use some autobiographical content in that, and there was a particular bit that we used which was about my bereavement of the loss of my dad. And there was just something about how we wrote about it together. Because I think we've always had, again, you might disagree, we've always had like a good understanding of each other creatively. So like if Harry's written a song, I kind of just go, oh yeah, I get what you're doing with that. Would you agree?
Yeah, so I remember like doing this song, because it was obviously like, as me as a songwriter coming in and writing something about a very personal experience of Alice's, it's like there's a lot of responsibility there. And in some ways it's a real privilege, because you get the chance to, like, so often when we're writing we think, oh, how would I respond, or how would I feel in this situation, and then it's much harder. That's hard enough to find that sort of knowledge of yourself and honesty, to then to be able to go into someone else's shoes, like, which you have to do with characters, and try and express the truth of how they, with their different experience, different wiring of their brain, might respond to something. I think that was really an enriching moment. So I remember bringing in this song, and Alice was very sweet. She was like, oh yeah, it's great, but it's not really like how I feel about it at all. And I don't think the song was great, actually. And so we had a long conversation and sort of dug a lot deeper and found this song called Moments of Sadness, which was just I think it really struck a chord with you know, each other and also the audiences. So would you say that was where you thought, okay, this is an interesting point to explore further?
It's really interesting hearing you talk about it, because I'm not sure we've talked about it together. Because I don't even remember that first song you're talking about.
I remember everything. So,
actually, Harry has a near photographic memory.
So I will hold grudges forever.
So he's never forgiven me.
Case. Yeah.
No. But yeah, it's lovely to hear you talk about that. Thank you for saying it's a privilege. But for me, I think what's so lovely about it, still makes me feel a bit emotional now, is because I could trust. I think at that point, because we'd been working together for a few years, I could completely trust Harry to take care of it. It does make me emotional. And so when we got that final, the Moments of Sadness song, it was genuinely, in my memory, one conversation where you went, got it, and just wrote the song, and it was perfect in my memory.
Yeah. Great.
We'll go with that. That's what happened. But and as you say, I think for us creatively and also as a performer, for me, it was obviously scary, but there was something about performing that felt real. And I hope, and I think from the audience's point of view, it felt kind of the same. I hope, it's very difficult to say, isn't it? Because obviously, I'm not a member of the audience, but definitely quite a few people were quite affected by it, because I wonder if there's something different about somebody singing something true, that obviously it's not better or worse than not, but it's just a different experience. And so it was that kind of made me think, going back to the original question, it was that made me think, maybe there's something that we have working together that means we can talk about or write about things that are quite difficult, but that a lot of people face in life, in a way that hopefully will be relatable, and the ultimate aim is helpful for other people. So that was the starting point. But I've definitely along the way had lots of doubts of, it's often about my own confidence in it, of, well, why would anyone care about my story, for example? But so I hope it's what I always want it to feel is relatable and not, like I have all the answers either, I suppose.
When you have those doubts, like what's the best advice that you've either given yourself or been given, like to deal with that? Because I think it's something a lot of us deal with, of like, why does anyone care about me, and like,
or I suppose or I suppose any story as well, it doesn't have to be an autobiographical one. That's a really good question. I suppose I take inspiration from other people who I admire and who I think, it's kind of having that confidence of owning that it's okay, I can be
Hi
guys.
Hi,
sorry.
we're back again. Sorry, there's a problem with the Wi-Fi here, and so we are hot spotting. So
apologies.
Hopefully, we felt like we were just calming down. Sorry if we started a bit. What were we talking about?
I was talking about what's helpful of the doubts.
You were talking about feeling how your voice was valid, and then the computer shut you off.
And then everyone got so cross they turned us off there. Yeah, and I guess that's also a personal journey in terms of managing the anxiety that I experience, because for me it's very much about confidence and self-worth and things. And also, of course, collaborating with people that you trust. Because I think it wouldn't have been possible to do this show without Harry and Valentina, who I really trust, who I have, obviously we're friends as well as college, right? Awkward.
Yeah, sure.
But to trust them that the story is, I guess, something that hopefully, because the ultimate thing as well that I want is it to be entertaining to watch, but also helpful, as I've said before. So that's really important, definitely, who you collaborate with. And I'm not at all an expert on autobiographical theatre either, but for me that's definitely really important.
And I guess we're both we both come to writing from other things. Like, so you trained as an actor, and I trained as a musician, and then we started we worked with devising companies as musicianal performers and things before, but we sort of started off devising and then sort of became more writery as it went on. And it's really hard to find that moment where you sort of say to yourself, I'm a writer, I am the writer. When you know these people, like I remember I had the same with being a composer earlier on, where it's sort of like, oh, do I call myself this word? Because that's what these people are who've done all this stuff and have all this confidence. And I think it's but I think I'm just thinking of in terms of things we found useful in terms of starting to write as well, because I think it's quite resources that we've used and kind of people. Is there anything that you've found?
So so there's in terms of resources, the Peggy Ramsey Foundation was something that is that what you were?
I wasn't what I meant, but that's a great fund you can apply to for money. But also, I guess I was thinking things like I found the Bruntwood playwriting site very useful.
Oh, I see.
There's a book, there's Stephen Jeffries' book on playwriting, and a lot of kind of out there on YouTube and on the internet. There's so much resource to so much stuff that I sort of put aside and thought, and read kind of later than read after writing my second draft of my show, and thought, God, I wish I knew read this earlier.
I have to say I'm guilty of the same, of not using those resources enough. But what's nice about us is I think we approach things in quite a different way, which is great. So I've had the benefit of Harry's, I guess, research on that.
What is the difference, would you say? I'm just thinking, I feel like I sort of go all over the place and sort of spread all my tentacles, whereas you come from a very authentic place, would you say?
Yeah, I guess so. And I don't know whether that's a thing that's common early on in writing or not, but for me, it's just a kind of gut feeling thing of, does this feel right, what I've written, and does it feel right when I say it? And
I guess that comes from being an actor as well.
I suppose so, that truth but obviously that's, because it is a real journey, as Harry says, about the idea of calling myself a writer. It's like, what? No. But thinking about if I wrote something in the future that wasn't necessarily autobiographical, how would that work? And, which is exciting. It's an exciting thing to think about. But I guess an autobiographical show is a different experience, isn't it? I mean,
I've never, I don't have the bravery to write one for myself, so I will never know.
You never know. You might one day.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah.
But then, isn't Thor?
I guess
in some ways, of course, it's a fictional character because it's a god, but your take on that story?
Yes, that was based on, I guess, there is still elements of parental relationships and and growing up, with expectations on maleness or whatever. That definitely came through.
Absolutely.
Now we're sitting in front of some starry pajamas and a sparkly dress. That are costumes in your, and also my tailcoat.
Oh yes,
what do you want to? Tell us a bit more about the show, Alice. How did you want to present this woman's life as someone with anxiety?
It's primarily it is a musical piece of musical theatre, but and a comedy, which maybe sounds a bit it might be surprising in terms of exploring mental health and anxiety, but I very much wanted it to explore these issues that was fun, and because I think music and comedy has the ability to make things, hopefully anyway, more relatable, to explore things in a way that hopefully is kind of broadly kind of understandable but also entertaining. And I was really inspired by Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I don't know if anyone watching has seen that, which I just thought that did that so well, obviously without kind of taking away from the seriousness of mental health issues, but I purposely, I had a lot of debates about what to include. So how much to include about perhaps why the anxiety is there, or things that I've been through, and actually I haven't really included much of that on purpose, because I think I wanted always it to feel, you know, this is what happens on a day-to-day level, and the challenges might not look big on paper. So little things like shopping and choosing what to have for dinner, for example, that can become big for somebody who's having difficulties. So that was something I always wanted to.
And I guess that's the sort of like, I guess that's where the sort of like, obviously doesn't sound fun, but the fun of the presentation of like this tiny thing happening, and then someone in a golden ball gown bursting out and singing a big power ballad with instrumental breaks and, you know, a mirror ball, that kind of using this big kind of bombastic form to represent something kind of that most people would see happening, people watching, observing, who didn't know your thought patterns would think, oh, that's a bit weird. She's spilt some coffee.
Oh, it's like, a bit, exactly. And I think musical theatre is such a good way of doing that as well for me. You know, it's of showing that heightened world and that bombastic. I like that. It's
because we also had a moment, like we've rewritten some sections of the show more than once, sometimes up to the very last minute. And one thing we've sort of found, one of the things we've been looking at is the ending, partly adapting it for a streaming session, and partly because we felt we never quite got it right. And I think one of the big key decisions we made was, because musicals are this big form, they're sort of better at expressing something that's quite simple and clear. And maybe you can use irony, and actually for the sort of nuance of what you wanted to say in the end, it was better to actually just to strip out the music and have you speaking your truth directly to the camera.
Which is been another kind of challenge, obviously. But I think, because I was always very conscious that I didn't want it to be and wrapped up in a bow and everything's now great, because that just isn't life, and it's not the reality, my reality either. And I obviously I can't speak for others, but I think for a lot of people, you know, you can, for me, I've been to therapy and I've talked a lot about the issues I've had. I didn't talk for years, but it's not, and I am able to manage it much better now, but it's not like, and then you just do this and everything's fixed. And that's quite a hard nuance, as Harry's saying, because obviously I want to have that message that it can get easier, and the main thing is to talk, but it's that all of that, you can't just go, and here's a song that says all of that, I guess. And that,
Well, and I guess it's like the different mediums mean different things in the show.
True.
So there are kind of 3 different languages, and one of them is musical theatre, which is sort of about the sort of up, which is sometimes genuine, but sometimes is forced.
And really, it's about trying to just deal with it on your own and go, I should be able to deal with it, and I'm gonna just pretend it's fine, and that's the concept of it. And then the idea, of course, and what happens when you try and do that, and versus what happens if you gently, if you talk about things to people. And
it's quite different because we've been making, like, all of our shows, you make them over a few years, don't we? And obviously these few years have been quite a lot's changed in the last couple of years. You've become a mother.
I've had a baby, which is he was born in June last year, so very much in that pandemic.
And there's been COVID,
and obviously the pandemic, huge, much bigger than me being a mum, I guess. But
how does it feel coming back to it now?
It's, oh gosh, there are so many feelings around it, because I've also had a big bereavement as well, and so there are so many feelings. But being back in a theatre, working with Harry and Valentina, there's also a real, amazingly, and I'm literally realising it now, a kind of like, this is a space I've been in, and these are people I work with. Initially, it was quite strange. Initially, I kind of felt like when I first went into London for a rehearsal, I was like, does everyone not know I'm a mum now? Like, it was such a weird feeling.
I guess, like, the other thing, like, because that's something I've been thinking about, a lot of projects that I started pre-pandemic, and sort of starting up again, like, I had this feeling of, I'm a different person now. Like, what does it feel like coming back to this material? And like, should we just, because the world's changed so much, should we just, like, consign all that to history? And the little thought I had today was kind of like, but like, no, we shouldn't do that. That was the main headline. And the show has changed in rewriting it and the way we've done it. It's still set kind of before the pandemic.
It is,
because it didn't feel right not to really fully engage with that.
For me, because it's about anxiety, which I think of course, the pandemic is, a lot of people I feel have been experiencing that, maybe for the first time, or it's brought things up for people that I wouldn't have wanted to just tag it on. That needs proper, that would be a proper piece of work and a separate one, I would say. But I think, We're back.
Hi, we're back. We should probably stop actually because we've got to go and tech the show. And,
we've got to do that. But
thank you so much for watching, and thanks to the King's Head for
thank you.
And do join us on Saturday at 7:30.
7:30. I think there's a link for tickets below. And thank you so much again to the King's Head. Lovely to see you all.
Bye.
Bye.